doing, YouTube? This is Dr. McLuckyPants. I don't have any cheeky intro line or anything like that. I wanted to share this game with you guys. It's 7 Days to Die, produced by the Fun Pimps. Well, developed and produced by them. Came out for the PC in 2013, 2014, something like that, and it hit consoles in 2016. They still have it in the alpha stages. They're still doing a lot of updating and patches, especially on the PC. And console here is a little behind that, but it's a really enjoyable game nonetheless. And thought I'd share it with the interwebs here. I've got the settings ticked up to the insane difficulty, so zombies do a lot more damage and take a lot less damage. And then 20-minute cycles. The default settings for the 20-minute is man, first broadcast, a little buggy. Anyways, um, the default is a 50-minute day. I've got it turned to 20-minute days, so things are going to be a little speedier. I'm probably going to get my butt kicked. Let's just be honest. Hopefully, it's an enjoyable ass kicking that I receive. And it looks like we're in now. Cool. So you start up with this little beginner quest, and going through that quest will get you some skill points that you can spend later on. It's helpful to do, just to have the extra skill points starting out. And it looks like I started in the plains biome, which really isn't a bad deal at all. There's going to be some cactuses and whatnot around, which guarantees that I have some food and water in the form of yucca. Oh man, a deer. But considering how rapidly the days are going to go by, right now I'm going to prioritize getting a little bit of shelter going on. Hopefully I can find a point of interest or a prefabricated building that I can kind of hang out in. Oh, snaps. Got the snow biome right here too. That can get a little risky. There's lumberjacks in there, and those fellas hit really hard. But normally when you start, you've got a couple things that you start with. You start with a winning disposition and a can-do attitude, in addition to nothing more than your underwear. And then you got all this crap here in your tool belt. A lot of it's helpful, but it's pretty short term and as far as how helpful it can be. I'm probably going to be scrapping down that land claim block just to get some extra iron. I'm a bit envious of the PC version. The mouse keyboard combo seems like it works out pretty smoothly for some of the people who play that and broadcast it on YouTube. And these controllers are definitely not optimized for this game. I guess it's a direct port or something. I don't know. I'm not very technologically savvy. Oh man, we got a really nice setup here. I got plenty of water sources. So now I'd really just like to find something to hide out in. Crafting a stone axe. That, for a long time, is going to be a pretty necessary item for you, especially when you start out. Until you can start reliably producing pickaxes and stuff like that, or at least me, I'll generally keep one on my person, or at the very least enough supplies in order to rapidly make one. I like hitting these cinder blocks. It's a nice source of stone. As you begin the game, you're going to find that stone is one of the harder things to come by, just because it can be tedious to mine or to collect. Cars are nice. You can find some interesting materials in there, and then later on, once you get a wrench, you're able to scrap that stuff down to get parts, mainly for your mini bike, but other things as well. Nice little source of iron as well, if you're really hard up for that and you just want the iron. You can always scrap down a car as an option. The next quest on my little beginner tutorial here is make some clothes. So that's what we're up to. Pretty soon it's going to want me to start building clubs and bows and arrows and all that good stuff, so I do want to get some wood. A technique I like to use while I'm knocking down trees or hitting rocks is I'll try to move around it and get a feel for what the area around me looks like. I will kind of be looking around the tree. I imagine a lot of people do that. This stone axe is falling apart. And of course, like a noob, I make too much clothes. There, I got that crap equipped. I'm going to throw on the plant fiber hat just to start early with keeping my temperature down. Oh, there's a zombie. I believe the recommended strategy is to hold still, or not hold still, but just kind of stay in that starting area for as long as possible, just to avoid zombie spawns. I guess the first couple hours they don't spawn, but to hell with the recommendations. We do what we want. I see some roads kind of wandering up these hills. I'd really like to find a POI. I generally don't like to stay in points of interest, but just because the shorter days are happening, I'm going to go that route. I generally like building my own little place to kind of hang out. I don't know if you want to call it a base or a tower or whatever, but it's already 1500. Suppose we could talk about the heads up here. So in the top center, you see you got a little compass that's spinning around right now. We're heading in an easterly direction. And then below that, it's got what day it is as well as what time it is, like what time of day. And you want to be mindful about that. If you haven't played this game before, you need to know that at 2200 the sun sets, and depending on what settings you have, when the sun sets, things get pretty rough. The zombies will start running, and then they're also better at detecting you. So it can be fairly challenging. I'm not hunted, so I'm going to see if I can't get me dinner. When you build a new bow, you got to knock an arrow, which if you're doing all that stuff in duress, can be hard to remember at times. Ah, nuts. I wonder if I made them bleed. Doesn't look like it. Sometimes your arrows will have a bleed effect. I think it's a stronger effect with the higher tier arrows. I don't think I'm going to get him. It's getting way too late for me to be horsing around with deers. I might just end up camping out on top of that big old rock there. And in case it wasn't apparent, I am not the greatest at this game. I could blame the user interface, but really I should just get in there and kind of tweak it down and figure out how to make those settings work better for me. Having meat can be a risky proposition. The zombies are able to smell meat and detect you a little bit better, and that'll definitely reduce your lifespan there. So the recommendation, I think, should be that you drop it off in a chest as soon as possible. Wearing it on your tool belt will expand the radius by which I can smell you, like he already smelled me. So I'm just going to keep it in my backpack until I can drop it off somewhere. I like to do a lot of crouching. In the center of the heads up there, it's going to tell you if you're hunted or undetected, and it's represented by an eye, and that eye was open, so that zombie kind of knows that I'm here, which I really don't like. So anyways, back to the heads up. Down there, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now it's building back up. That blue bar, that's your stamina. Really critical to try to keep a little bit of stamina. See, that eye's half shut in the center. That means I'm sensed. There's some zombie around here that knows I'm kind of hanging around, but doesn't know exactly where. Below that is that plus sign. That's your hit points. Pretty apparent. And then above that is any statuses. So I wonder if that's the one that was sniffing me out. Looks like we might be empty in there. Oh, yeah. Proper shit show going on here. So I don't have a lot of time. It's 2 in-game hours, which is probably a couple minutes in real time before these guys start running. Right now my goal is to try to pull them away from this house, and then I'm gonna dip off to a side. Oh, stepped on a cactus. Hopefully that'll send them wandering off in some random direction, and I can go back to a hopefully unoccupied house. Gonna get some of those wooden frames going on. Well, ran over a bird's nest. Yeah, this is gonna be dicey. $22 feathers. That stuff's like crack in this game. Once you get those feathers, you can start making stone-tipped arrows, which is going to upgrade your weapons or your weapon crafting skill, which will make you have stronger weapons. Zombies die faster. It's really quite helpful. Due to the difficulty setting, and it's day 1 and me not having a secure place to stay, I'm gonna be going with that. Oh shoot, I'm hunted. Just gonna dump that meat off here. Oh crap. Oh shoot. Yep, things just got really colorful around here. And of course my stone axe isn't up and running here. Yep, this is a proper mess, but this is kind of how I like this game. A little bit of stress isn't too bad for me. I can handle it. And it kind of motivates me to try new things out, and I mean, it's pretty ambitious to suggest that it makes me better. I would normally be shutting this game off, but since I got zombies hanging around, I'm just gonna chill out, wait out the night, and then we're gonna try to grab whatever we can. With 5 arrows, negligible weapon crafting skills, I am not in very good shape to attempt to fight these zombies, but I can at least knock out the rest of the noob quest, right? Actually, I don't want that there. Just throwing that there. I don't know how long I'm going to be stuck here for. So there's a campfire. That should complete my noob quest. And this Noah guy, I don't know how he got notes in my pocket or how he's getting these notes to me, but he seems pretty unconcerned with the fact that I'm left naked and unequipped in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of zombies. No, I don't. Shit. So you press and hold O and you can unequip that arrow and that will save it. So I'm pretty tight on arrows right now, which is kind of why I did that. We're a little bit better off here, but these zombies are still going to be fairly problematic. Oh boy. If anybody knows of a good mouse and keyboard setup for the PlayStation 4, I'd love to hear about it. I've done a little bit of research on it, and it doesn't really look like there's great options out there. So, I don't know, I'm hoping that in a future update they improve the user interface. I know for computers they have the traps and they've got electricity, which I guess if you want to use Minecraft as a reference point is sort of like the redstone there, which that'd be really awesome to see, but I guess I'd be okay without it, just so long as that user interface is updated. So with our days being 18-hour day, oh shit. Now we just run. We're gonna run until sunup. That's when the zombies will slow down, and that's when I'm gonna be able to hopefully keep myself alive. We're not gonna cover a lot of ground. There might be more zombies wandering around out there. I'll see. Oh. Chicky Poo ran into a cactus. Looks like it crippled her. I suppose the decent thing to do would be to finish her off, right? These wooden clubs are crap. Definitely recommend, oh, that was a cactus. Definitely recommend the iron reinforced, spiked, or barbed club whenever you can get a hold of it. The, oh, here's another zombie. Jeez, I can't win for losing. Anyways, I'm going to call it here, and then I can't promise that I'm going to be consistent with posting anything on YouTube, but the idea is to do a week and just have a little bit of fun and share this game that I enjoy with y'all. Alright, toodaloo.